Congratulations, guys. Finish on top of the ladder with guaranteed now. What does that win mean to under all the adversity, to come away and get that done?
Yeah, we had a quick chat in the locker room and, a little reflection on, where we started our season with our team, contracting COVID and starting that way, and then navigating, what's happened with this year. And, credit to the NBL for continuing to get the league running and to this point. And but the sacrifices that the players of all teams have made this year to being away from their families and at times basketball felt a little bit like a job at different times this year, and we love it, and I think we started to have some fun once we got through that little period of navigating what happened. And so really proud of our guys and what we've achieved so far, and still a lot to go, but good place to be.
Fair to say, your first couple of minutes you started like a team that's been in the hotel for a long time, and then you had a crack at them, they came back. Like, has it been difficult to adjust to being locked up to then getting the energy that you need to play on court?
Yeah, I think we were lucky that we got a practice yesterday, because it wasn't of high quality, but we needed to just blow out a little bit. And so, it was good to get that run, and I thought there was good energy within the group at the shoot-around today, and I was pretty confident that we'd come in and put in a good performance. But, we didn't, the first few minutes we weren't great, and then to lock them down and hold them to 12 was outstanding. Second quarter, I thought we just didn't share the ball and play the way that we've been playing. And so once we got into the second half, I thought, once we put our feet in the paint or threw it into the post and it came back out, and then I thought we opened up the game a little bit. But we were solid defensively for most of the night. And, Mooney, we did a good job on him, and, Steindl and Blanchfield, the guys that were chasing them off picks all night were really committed as well.
Go, Mikey.
You mentioned there the job you did on Mooney, Dean. Jock had a fantastic night in that battle, but also what Joe's giving you off the bench. Your front court is pretty intimidating right now.
Yeah, Joe got a little foul trouble. He probably, would have played a little bit more, but, he's so talented, and, so many things that he can do. And I thought his and one bucket at that stage of the game was massive for us as well. And, he's just going to keep getting better. Jock I thought he really attacked when he caught it in the post tonight and got to the charge circle and was a tough cover. So, those two, whether they're playing together or whether they're subbing for each other, are a big handful.
I can't imagine too many teams have won both of their regular season games in Perth in this building in the one season too often. Why have you been able to play so well in these two games in Perth?
I thought we played a lot better last time. I thought just in the total context of the game. This one, you don't get many chances to win a minor premiership, and that was a massive motivation for us, and just for them to be without Mitch Norton, we saw that as certainly an advantage and an opportunity that we just had to grab.
And Mitch, as a playing group, what does it mean to guarantee top spot and win that regular season championship?
Yeah, it means everything. We set goals at the start of the year, and throughout the year we're trying to tick them off and continue to improve. And one of those goals is to put ourselves in the best possible position leading into finals, and that's first place. So we need to celebrate that a little bit, and then it'll mean nothing when finals comes around and we're back to it. So yes, extremely happy to be in this position though.
I guess we could talk about how different Perth is with Mitch Norton in the lineup, but as a point guard, if you're going up against Kevin White for 30 plus minutes, that's not exactly an easy night either, is it?
No, they have a system that they stick to, and they've always been a good defensive team, whether guys are in or out. And I've always found that when they have guys that are out with injury, other guys lift. And Whitey did a pretty good job tonight. He's up the floor and pressuring, and they're always going to throw guys at you defensively, and they trap. And I thought they were up the floor a lot, pressing us off their free throws. So it certainly wasn't easy.
You had some seasons up in Cairns where you put up some massive numbers, especially rebounding numbers when you're playing more as a forward. How do you rate this season where you've been playing mostly as a point guard and the way you've run a team that's now won the regular season championship? I mean, from the outside, you've had an outstanding all-round season with every part of your game going really well. How do you see your own game?
Yeah, thank you. It's been a really fun year. I'm learning as I go, and I think at the start of the year it was just getting a bunch of guys on the same floor that, there's a lot of talent, and we were asking a lot of guys to, make extra passes and do more cutting just because we need to move the ball to allow that, talent to spread each night. So for me, it's just been a really fun time getting guys to their spots and getting guys going and seeing that happening. It's something that I always love doing. I've always loved passing the ball and getting people shots, and this year it's been pretty easy with some of the guys that we have.
Hey, you want to jump in, mate?
So sorry, just one last one from me, Dean. When you've guaranteed top spot, but you don't know where your playoffs are going to be played for the semi-finals, and you don't know who you're going to be playing. How difficult is it to start preparing?
Yeah, I think now that we've obviously secured where we're going to finish. There's going to be some games happen that are going to sort out who we're playing fairly quickly. But, the likelihood, obviously, we're not going to play our semi-final series in Victoria. It was extremely unlikely that there's any prospect of that. So, we have to choose a location to say, is it good for us as a team, firstly? Do we like playing in that venue? Obviously, does it comply with everything that NBL needs for a finals game? And then, is there the opportunity for any of our family to come as well? And so you put all those things together. Is it commercially viable for the club to do it? And so, there's so many decisions to be made, but I really like how our club has consulted, everybody on our team about, what we think is going to be the best for our performance first, and then how does it impact the rest of the club and the rest of our families. So, we'll choose a location fairly soon, and we'll see how we go. If we can get back, if we're good enough to make grand finals, if there's a prospect of playing any games in Victoria.
Kane.
Yeah, Mitch, you've hinted a fair bit, or you've spoken a fair bit about the unselfishness. I'm just wondering for you, you've been on good teams before, you've been in national teams where there's a bunch of individually talented players. How have you found this experience in terms of whether it's a unique situation with how quickly you guys have been able to come together and play that unselfish way?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of time in the preseason when we were in quarantine in Melbourne to have Zoom chats and set some standards and talk about how do we want to play, what do we want to look like, when people leave the stadium, what do we want them saying? And we knew that we had some guys defensively that could get the job done, and we were excited about that. And so we set a standard, and we said if you don't want to play defense, it's going to be hard to stay on the floor in this team. And then offensively, we've got a lot of guys who can score the ball, and the same thing. We're saying that it might not be your night every night, but do the right thing, play the right way, and eventually your time will come to step in and make a big shot. And we put a lot of trust in a lot of different guys to make plays at the end of games, and that's a really fun way for me to play. I just love seeing my teammates, each and every one of them at different times, step up and have big games, and I think it makes it harder to guard.
And Dean, it would probably be easier to ask this if he wasn't sitting next to you, but Mitch, the season that he's had, and there's a lot of unrecordable things that you notice during the game and you see that he does, but then it's the stuff that is really noticeable. And tonight I think it got back to 4 points, and then he was the one that hit the three that sort of stopped their momentum a little bit. What can you say about the season that he's had? Because it's obviously been pretty remarkable.
Yeah, just massive growth. When we signed Mitch on a 3-year deal, initially there was always the talk about, let's transition him to the point guard, and in his third season with us, and put a lot of trust in him to run the team, and I think that's a pretty difficult job to say, I'm going to move from one of the best utility guys in the league to then just go ahead and try and lead a team, and a team that's has got the talent to win a championship, and he's grabbed it, he's learnt, he's got frustrated at times, and and he's got great support as well. The team's great, talking to him and holding him accountable to things that they need to do, and he's got so much better at just getting everybody on the same page, and that's massive for a point guard. And then you got Shea Early come in as well and play those guys together, or play Mitch a little bit off the ball, and we've got that versatility as well. But he's been the guy that's led our team, handled pressure, got us organised, and as you said, when it's a big shot to be made, and he's made some pretty big shots in this place, he's more than willing to take them.
Just last one for me. With this game now, you've locked up top spot. I know you rested Dave a couple of nights back against Sydney. How do you approach this last game? Is there any thought to rest some guys, or do you just push ahead and try and get the run in before the final?
Yeah, Dave took a little knock in the Sydney game, and so we just thought let's get that to 100%, and so he'll look at a fitness test going into the Adelaide game, and we'll assess him and to see if he can get some minutes there. But my experience with it's not a dead rubber, it's an NBL game, is that at one time in New Zealand we rested some players and we lost the first playoff game. So there's not going to be a resting of our guys, but it's going to be certainly a good share of minutes, and we want to come out of there with good form and playing the right way, is certainly the goal for the game in Adelaide.
All right, last call, everyone.
Yeah, can I just jump back in quickly, just from a COVID itinerary crossing borders point of view? I imagine you leave tomorrow, leave Perth tomorrow. Is that correct? And what are your restrictions when you get to Adelaide?
Yeah, as far as we know, when we arrive in Adelaide, we'll take another test at the airport. But from what I understand there is that we're under NBL guidelines there, so we are allowed to go to a restaurant and eat as a team, and freely move around. I'm not sure how masked up we have to be for those kind of things, but it's not the dirty quarantine that we had here in Perth, and just restricted to our hotel room.
Cool, thank you.
Well, thanks a lot, Dean. Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you.
Cheers.